As you might have guessed, I really enjoy doing roosters and hens. I've done a lot of them over the years, and these are just a few of them. These are the ones I did for my current acrylics class, but I used my earlier references. These are ones I had done earlier, and they're all in acrylic. I actually sold all the ones I did in watercolor, so I don't have representation of those. So today we'll do some watercolor rooster. I'm kind of drawn literally and figuratively to this one because it's not a normal stance that we see in an image, a photo, or a painting of roosters and hens. So I like the idea probably of doing some of his plumes in watercolor. I might change my mind, but at this point, that's where I'm kind of headed. I sent you already these sketches, and the process will remain the same to the extent that I'm going to suggest that these were my little 5-minute ones. This whole thing was 5 minutes. But it is just a series of ovals. In fact, when you're doing the back end, there's an egg, quote unquote, right there. And there's a plume coming this way. And then it follows back through up to his neck. And there's just a suggestion of a head with a comb. And then we'll leave it at that. And fun will be had when we do the color. So I've done a quick sketch, as you can see. It's not very elegant, but I don't, like I said in my little quick video I sent the other day, I did a quick sketch and with rhythm to keep it loose. I don't want to have a very rigid, structured sketch because then it'll make my painting tight. So I just wanted to review that I'm sticking pretty much to the palette that we've used since we started. I've got 3 yellows, a warm, a cool, and then Quin Gold, which is kind of the kicker, I think. Then I have ultramarine, manganese, or if you don't have manganese, you can use cerulean instead. And I have indigo for my darkest blue. In my reds, I have alizarin, which is my darkest red, Quin Rose, which is a cool rosy color, and Cad Red Light, which is my warmer red and the lightest one. So today the only thing I'm adding that's different is I haven't decided, but I might use turquoise, which is something I used in my acrylic paintings, even although this is watercolor paint. I'm going to try very hard to keep some whites. Don't know how successful I'll be, but what I will do is I'm going to start by getting a lot of the area wet. I'm on hot press paper, so I'm doing a little bit of wet here. And hopefully I can keep some of that white-ish. But I'll start by putting in some of my lights. we're seeing the back end of this chicken, but I want you to recognize that with animals, animals that are prey have their eyes on the side of their head. Animals that are predators, like human beings and dogs and bears and all those other things, have their eyes in the front. So even though I'm doing the back end of this rooster, I'm looking at sort of the side of his head, and that's going to give me a place to put a little eyeball. And they're kind of round, but that'll do it for the time being. I might go in and soften it a little bit, but I did want to get that dark in. Let's see how it dries before I start fiddling with it some more. So that's a quick sketch. Oh my goodness, I just dropped water on a place that I don't want it to be a bubble or a balloon or blossom. Oh well, I can fix that later. But anyway, after having dropped some water in an inopportune place, I'm going to try to make the eye a little more interesting. Putting a little bit of Quin Gold over there. Their eyeballs are round. They're not almond shaped like ours. But a little bit of that is bleeding, and I don't mind that. But it is a small space, so we'll see what happens with that. Making it real dark. That's going to do it. Remember, in this class, we're not doing masterpieces. We're doing little studies so that we get the swing of it and get a little bit of knowledge about how to mix colors and how to place things in a composition. And here you can see I've done dark, light, and that's to kind of showcase this guy's head. I'll take the tape off and I'll show it to you in a minute. Well, this is it. It's not dry yet. It's probably reflecting with the light, but it could be this. It could be this. Yeah, I want you to try different croppings on your work, particularly if you end up with something that you don't like. Keep it and always just think in terms of how you can crop things, what you can do in terms of saving it for collage. But that's not the end of the ball game when you end up with a painting that you're not in love with. Just work with it and let each one of them be a learning experience for you. That's not a bad, this isn't a bad cropping. And actually looks a little bit abstract, doesn't it? Well, that's it for today. I'm going to let this dry, and I'll see you on Zoom a half an hour later than we normally have tomorrow.